The Super Bowl is here. We are, well, a couple of days away now from the big show. Wills, Eagles, can they beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Can they stop the very first three-peat? I'm gonna send it to Peter first of all, because I know what Will's answer is going to be. It's going to be yes, they can do it. The Chiefs haven't got a chance. So I'm going to ask Peter, will Saquon be able to be the first 100-yard rusher against a Spags-led defense in the playoffs? Because that has never happened before. That is key. That is the key to this game, in my opinion.
I agree. That's the key, but I don't think he will. I think Saquon will not rush for what do you call it? 100. He'll have a total scrimmage yards over 100, so both passing and receiving. That's how he's going to do it. He can't do it purely rushing the football, because one thing the Chiefs have been very good this season is stopping the run. They limit running backs to 3.8 yards per carry, and that's carried out all the way through to the postseason. Now, granted, against the Buffalo Bills, their running back James Cook got some success on the ground game, a little bit, but I think they know the key to the Eagles' offense is Saquon, so they'll set out to stop Saquon for sure.
I mean, I don't think our offensive line. That's all I'm saying. So I mean, it's
so now okay, now we're gonna have the reports, right?
It's gonna be a good matchup. Like this may work against teams with a mid line.
Have the best offensive line.
10 offensive line. This is 1 and 2. Like we're arguably the best offensive line unit in the league. We're the heaviest.
No,
statistically.
You are the best offensive line in the league. I get that.
And we've also got an elite runner as well. And Jalen Hurts is there as a run threat as well. So you can stop things inside the box. We're going to have to use that RPO.
How many times has Jalen Hurts run this postseason?
He's not a lot, has he? Yeah, but this is the Super Bowl. You know, like when you give teams this long to prepare, this long I think it either goes one of two ways, the way I'm seeing it. Either both defensive coordinators, Vic Fangio on our side as well, like they're going to come to the game prepared. So I don't actually think everyone's thinking that this is going to be a high scoring game. But when you give defensive minds that are both this good with the personnel on both sides of the ball, time to prepare, they're going to get the job done. So it's going to be really hard to gain yards on the ground.
I agree with you. I agree with you. It's not going to be a high scoring.
What I'm saying is you wanted to know.
Saquon's going to get a big run in. He's not going to rush for like a large amount of yards, but what he's going to do is he's going to cripple the team right when he needs to. That's what I'm hoping on here. So he's going to crack a big run, maybe 40 yards plus, and that's going to come at a pivotal moment. He always does this every game. You can't contain him. This is the thing. Like if he gets to the second level,
so here's the thing.
He's not a normal back. If he gets to the second level against linebackers,
listen, Will, pause for a second. We'll
Peter, I'm going to ask you to pause as well. Because you asked the question, right? You asked the question of how many times does Jalen Hurts actually run the ball? In the 3 games so far this postseason, he's run the ball 23 times.
For how many yards?
122.
That's not enough.
So it's about 40 yards a game, right?
That's not a lot, because the thing is, the reason why I say that is because you got to look at this. Steve Spagnuolo, like you said earlier in your statement, those 2 defensive coordinators are elite, right? Spags and Fangio, they're elite, and they arguably have like the top 2 defenses in the league. Like in the postseason, the Eagles have been the best defense in the postseason, and closely followed by the Chiefs. One thing that the Chiefs have been great in the postseason is being able to stop the run. Now, Spags knows Saquon is the key to your offense. So what I'm saying is that they're going to sell out to stop the run early to try and make you guys pass the ball a bit more. Now, here's the thing. This game will come down to, for me, my assessment, the research that I did, right? It will come down to something that your Eagles have been very good at this postseason. Is the reason why you guys are playing the Super Bowl. Actually, it's not because of Saquon. Do you know why you guys are playing the Super Bowl?
It's that defensive line.
Stout defense and ball security. Like we very rarely turn the ball over. And
the reason why you guys are playing the Super Bowl
is going to be why we're in this game.
No, the reason why the Eagles are in the Super Bowl is because of 12 turnovers. You guys forced 12 turnovers in 3 games. That's plus 12 turnovers is the critical number that your Eagles, and especially for the defensive side of the football.
And how many turnovers have they given up the other way?
None.
And if you look at it, right, so the takeaway differential. Go.
So for me, like I was saying, the turnovers are going to be key for this game because you've got your Eagles that have created their plus 12 turnovers in the postseason, and the Chiefs have 0 turnovers. So you have the Chiefs haven't turned the ball over in the postseason. Your Eagles haven't, but your Eagles have forced turnovers. Because remember when we reviewed, I think the championship game. One of the things that I kept saying was forced fumbles, especially in our group chat. I said the defense is playing
those fumbles, yeah,
and forcing those fumbles. So it's gonna be a case of can they force turnovers off the Chiefs, who have been good with ball security this postseason. Could they create 2 or 3 turnovers to steal extra possessions for your Eagles? And that would be so crucial in the game. If they're able to do that, then your Eagles will have a bigger chance. Because at the end of the day, the way I do it, the way from the research that I've done between the two teams, it comes down to who can force those turnovers. And your Eagles have proven they're better at creating or forcing turnovers. But can they get the Chiefs to drop the footballs and stuff like that? Another thing I'm impressed by is your secondary have been good at, blanket and wide receivers. That secondary has played very well in the fan during the postseason. So shout out to the cornerbacks that you guys have got. Quenya Mitchell and
Yep, Quenya Mitchell is a all-star in the making.
The other guy.
It's going to be interesting. So we expect what? Cooper's going to be on what? Kelsey? The majority of this game?
He's probably going to roam with Ghost as well. So he's probably going to be he's going to play the nickel, but we're confident enough to put him one-on-one against their number 2. So currently, right now, I think we're looking at Schuster's on their team, right?
Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, but he's more
Hopkins
and Kelsey are the one and 2, probably.
Yeah, Hopkins, Kelsey, and they've got Brown, Marquise Brown as well.
We're really well matched here. I think Zach Brown, our linebacker, he's going to get paid this offseason because he's playing like an all-star. Him and Nolan Smith Jr., they're like turnover machines. Like these guys play the ball on the way to the sack, on the way to the tackle. And it's going to be like ball security is going to be a thing for the Chiefs. Like they're going to have to be careful. And I know those running backs, they're going to get a fumble out of those Chiefs running backs, 100%.
But the thing is whether it's going to fall your way, right? That's the thing.
It's true.
But also the matchup with that defensive line unit against Mahomes, right? In terms of getting to Mahomes. So do you think, I want to ask Peter this one, do you think that this Eagles defensive line can cause problems that Mahomes hasn't seen kind of this season? Because the last time we saw Mahomes against a defensive line unit that was completely much vaunted was in that Tampa Bay Super Bowl where they got absolutely just obliterated, right? Now the offensive line's a lot better this time round, but
it's a lot better this time round. But even still, I think the Eagles can cause some issues here. The key for me with the Eagles defensive line is Jalen Carter and how he's playing this postseason. He is really pushing the pocket in terms of he's playing the run excellently, and he's getting pressure to quarterbacks. That inside pressure is creating a lot of chaos, and that's allowing the outside guys to be able to feast off and eat. If you go back to that Tampa Bay Super Bowl, everybody will look at all the other outside playmakers, but the key part of Tampa Bay's defense was Vita Vea. His pocket push and how he was pushing the pocket really made Mahomes uncomfortable.
They can single-handedly destroy that interior.
Exactly. Like Mahomes, if you go back to that Super Bowl, kept running outside the pocket to try and make throws, to try and make plays. So that's when he made that signature. I think it was like a diving throw.
That pass where he was like,
caught,
yes.
Yeah, where his feet was off the ground, but he's still making a pass anyway because the pocket wasn't there. So can Jalen Carter replicate a Vita Vea? Can he replicate Aaron Donald pressure inside? So far in the postseason, he's proven that he can do it, but can he do it in the Super Bowl, which I believe he can. So that's why, for me, I feel like this is going to be a very defensive game. We might not get a score till we get into like the second quarter or maybe the third.
I think we're gonna get some points on the board. It's not gonna be the snooze fest. That was that Rams Patriots Super Bowl. That was the that was a snooze fest.
That was the 3.5 time.
Yeah, it's literally. I think this game is gonna be. It's gonna come down. Like, I want to see if Sirianni stays disciplined and doesn't leave the run when he starts to panic. Because I think deep down inside, the team knows we go through Saquon, and we're asking Jalen to play a good game, make the throws where he needs to. Now, here's where I think it could be costly. I think Patrick Mahomes has really good pocket presence. So I think even though we're gonna get pressure,
I don't think you need to be blitzing though. That's the one thing.
Yeah, you have to be really careful. He's got good pocket presence, and
he does, but he's been bad this year against pressure. When you check the stats, his numbers.
But generally against. But are you talking about against pressure, against a 4-man front, or against a blitz? Because generally, when you blitz him,
he'll make
you get found wanted.
No. It's not against a blitz. It's against pressure, against 4-man pressure, especially on the interior pressure. He's been uncharacteristic. A weakness for both teams is even Jalen Hurts is the same thing. We know Mahomes is much better as an elite quarterback per se, but both quarterbacks this season have struggled with pressure interior wise. When it's up in their face, and that has been issues for both quarterbacks to deal with. Yes, Mahomes has a better experience.
So Chris Jones could provide a big problem as well.
Yeah,
we can't just say that the Eagles defense. Like, you look at the other side of the ball, the Chiefs defense, unbelievable, right?
Plays a unit, yeah.
Plays a great unit.
Chris Jones. I think for this game, Chris Jones will have drawn on the inside. I'm not sure about the outside because those two Eagles tackles, they've been locked down this postseason. My Lighter and Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson hasn't given up a sack all season.
He's playing phenomenally. Jalen Hurts has this thing where he doesn't keep his eyes down the field. Like, if pressure comes, you see it all the time. Like, he's holding the ball and he looks to his left. He keeps his eyes on the pressure too much. And this is the type of game where those windows of opportunity are going to be so short. Like, he's got to be able to keep his eyes down the field and make those plays. So this is where I don't think they're even. Patrick Mahomes, he's going to suffer from the pressure, but his eyes are always down the field. He's always looking for an outlet. Jalen, not so much. He's either going to tuck it and run, but he needs to be able to keep his eyes.
Could that become a problem as well?
That's going to, I mean, I'm sure I've seen it. Commentators have seen it. Eagles pundits have seen it. I'm pretty sure defensive coordinators have seen it. So sometimes with him, if you can contain him, so remove the outside as far as him tucking it and running it on the perimeter, rush from the inside, just get his eyes off the field. And then it's either going to be a coverage sack or he has to throw the ball away, run out of bounds with 3 yards. That's what I'm concerned about. And with Jalen, if he gets into a rut early, it's hard to dig yourself out of it because Jalen plays better with momentum and confidence. So if he can make good passes early, seeing as we're going to run the ball, I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. Here's the thing. I think coaching is really going to matter a lot in this game. And outside of our defensive coordinator, I'm not quite sold on Sirianni's ability to stick to the plan. I just don't want the team to panic and go away from what's got them here in the first place. And going up against the Chiefs, it's very easy. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game, but if you're not able to move the ball,
Over
like
under 48.
it's 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. If we get 3 and outs, I'm telling you that offensively on the bench, it's going to be like a tall order. They're going to challenge Jalen to pass the ball 100%. Now, if he does that, oh boy, this game's going to be really interesting.
Now,
we've got guys that can get open. We've got guys that can get open.
So one prediction: if this is a one-score game, the Chiefs are winning.
I mean, I've seen the so-called leaked scoreline online. Where
No. There's a reason why I'm saying this.
41.
If this,
it's a one.
If it is, and when I say one score, I'm talking about if it's within 3 points, Spags is going to cause Jalen Hurts a nightmare at the end.
Yeah.
Somehow.
100%. The pressure is coming. And
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's going to find a way to be effective. And I agree with your point. Like if it's a
the key for the Eagles is to get some points on the board and
get out in front, and make Mahomes have to sit there and sling it. And make him chase the game.
Yeah,
easy completions, short yardage plays, get those first downs.
And they can't, and they can't just drop into coverage and just drop into soft coverage as well. They've got to continually got to be hot on those receivers as well.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, it's an interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of the game as well. Like when we talk about in terms of we'll see how the outcome is, but so far early in Mahomes' career, he has a chance to do something that never been done in NFL history, and if he's able to pull it off, pull it off is not the right phrase, but if the Chiefs was to win and they do this three-peat, it puts him in a different conversation. We'll talk about that after the game, obviously, but I'm just mentioning what the verge of what they are on about. And even it's a credit to the Chiefs for making it 3 straight Super Bowls, even, because they haven't had the best season in terms of statistical numbers, especially offensively, but they've done it by just winning.
Do you know what I would liken it to? I would liken it to an old Sir Alex Ferguson Manchester United team where they're not the best, they're not playing the best at all,
but they still win the Premier League.
They're just grinding out results week in, week out, and they win the whole thing.
Yeah, that's
the way that they have been this year.
Championship mentality right there, because they're not a team that a lot of people have been necessarily talking about. They've just been there. But if you look at their record before the postseason, they're 15-2. That's a damn good record. You know what I mean? So
I think
the scary thing is they have done that without playing well offensively.
Yeah, and no one was really talking about them. They were just there talking about the Baltimores, the Buffaloes.
Because it's an offensive league, right?
It's an offensive league, but they've been winning these games playing complete football. And that's probably the scariest thing is if this was 2 years ago, it would be like, let's stop their offense. We'll take care of the rest, right? We can work our way through their defense. It's not like that anymore. Patrick Mahomes is now playing within the system. So he's not making as many errors. He's not putting the ball in harm's way as much as he did in the past two years. And the defense has really grown. Like Chris Jones, right up the middle, is like he frees up so much of that defense, meaning you can just rush with base. You don't have to send guys inside or outside.
But the thing is, that's the thing. That's the beauty of Spags, right? He has exotic looks.
Yeah, and if Chiefs get to an early lead, if they get to a lead, then there's no pressure like before. I think Mahomes felt with the defense he's got to put up maybe two more scores to keep their team ahead, because he knows the other team's going to score at some point, right? But now he's there like, no, I can play this game steady. I'm not going to take any risks. I've got a defense that can stop a team. I want my Eagles to win, but it's going to be a tough game. Both teams that are here now are like cream of the crop. So they've got players on both sides of the ball. If you look at the coaching side, we've got experience both sides. So it's literally like this is going to be a tough fought game. If we do win this, Jalen Hurts will kind of be like a made man at this point, even though we all know.
Do you know a stat for this season? Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. What do you think is the most number of passing yards the Eagles have had in the entire season in terms of single game?
What, on a per game basis or like
single game?
One game.
In one single game, what's the highest number of passing yards?
I think it's over 300.
What they've given to an opposing
No. In terms of Jalen Hurts, that quarterback,
it's 350 plus for sure.
Do you think it's 350, Peter? What do you think it is?
Range.
Might be more. 400?
200 range, just over 200.
Because I know he's had a big game.
Highest is 288.
288.
Man.
See, he hasn't passed for 300 yards in a game this season.
Yeah.
So this entire game.
I mean, that's a strategy right there. If I like the DC's like, we're gonna stack the box, we're gonna force him to beat us with his arm. Like, we're not gonna let him.
But the thing is, about Saquon is you can stack the box and he can still beat you.
That's the thing. He's the differential. So if everyone is hat against the hat, everyone is blocked up, it leaves Saquon one-on-one, and that's why he's so dangerous. Like, if it happens in the booth, he can make people miss in the booth. We're not worried about that. Like I said, he will eat. He's probably not going to get, like Pete said, I can live with the fact that he's not going to get over 100, but he's going to get a big run at some point. This could be 60 yards. Now, if he converts those runs to touchdowns, that's going to be lethal. Because you can do a lot of running, but if you don't score at the end of it, or if you get a field goal, it's not going to work. Saquon has to get in the end zone with these runs. It can't be halfway there. We're gonna. It's gonna be tough, man.
Listen. You touched on something this postseason, right? The way Saquon's played in this postseason kind of reminds me a little bit of Adrian Peterson. Now, let me explain when I say a little bit of Adrian Peterson, in the sense that when your running game starts, right, Saquon will go for 5, 3, 6, 7, and then before you know it, 60 yard, boop. And that happens because one thing the Chiefs cannot do is in their run defense, their run fits, one player cannot miss. Gap integrity, discipline must be at an all-time high, because if Saquon, and also when I say you should not miss is sometimes Saquon is so good as a runner, especially with your Eagles offensive line, is that he's setting up linebackers and safeties to miss. He's using his blocks to set it up, and once you jump into the wrong hole, boop, he's gone. Because against was it the Rams that you guys played in the championship game?
Yep.
No, it was the Commanders in the championship game. Rams was the week before.
Commanders. One of the touchdowns, as soon as the safety got into the wrong hole, Saquon was gone, because it's like he jumps from one hole to the next because you jump trying to say, okay, I'll meet you here. No, he's not going to be here. He's going to the next hole. It's not this hole that he's coming to. So his ability to set up his blockers has been very, very effective for your Eagles run game, and that's the one thing that could probably change the course of this game. And because the thing is, they'll battle him up, but that one mistake, and he's showed the ability to take it to the house, because I believe if he gets over 40 yards, he's going to the house.
He's got breakaway speed, like full free speed, and he's shown it. Like, if he gets a 5-yard gap between him and the nearest defender, and he's in the second level heading towards the third, I mean, that's a 60-yard run right there. Even if you have an angle, that's at least 50 yards. So that's the thing. Like, gap discipline is huge, and I'm pretty sure Spags is harking on about it. Like, just hold your gap. It doesn't matter if he gets through, hold the gap, because I would rather he gets through and gets 5 yards rather than you try and get an early tackle and it turns to 80 yards. Like, it's not worth it. Let him run you over. It doesn't matter. We'll run, contain.
Well, it's like this, right? Okay, so if I'm the safety and I've got a C gap, right, and Saquon's coming through the B gap, do not jump from the C to the B
Yeah.
gap. My gap is a C gap. Stay in your gap. If you
stay in your
jump,
gap.
that's when you make the mistake.
Yeah, he can cut
Don't
back.
worry,
He's got the
somebody
ability.
else is gonna B gap. You worry about the gap that you're assigned to. Because in run defense, it's one of those things like even from our Bennett days I remember, which is like do not leave your gap, because the minute you leave your gap,
that's your assignment. It's like it's zonal marking, right?
Exactly.
Just like you've got your
Saquon,
assignment. You've got to do that.
To it.
Yeah, and Saquon has the ability to change direction. He can pick his gap. This isn't like a heavy-footed runner that's not able to do that. We all know he can dance, he can hurdle, he can change direction on a dime.
Speaking of so
if you leave your gap, he will see it and he will punish you.
Did you hear
100%.
about Saquon's response? They asked him, so what's your favorite play? So they asked him, what's his favorite play in the season? He goes, probably, like that snow touchdown. And he goes, oh yeah, I forgot. I backward hurdled someone this.
I backward hurdle someone. Yeah, it's just another day. Like 100%. Like he does this every other. He probably does stuff like this in practice all the time. And the coaches are like,
not that, but you know what I mean.
You know what I mean? But
now, if we look at the numbers, I was saying obviously, Eagles haven't had a 300-yard passing game in the entire. So if that's going to be what's required for the Eagles to win, there's not a chance, right? That's not happening. Now, but the Eagles have only given up one 300-yard pass. The Eagles have only given up one 300-yard passer in the entire season, and that was Baker.
I mean, I agree. The high chance of him, but you never know. In a Super Bowl, stranger things have happened, right? Because it's a Super Bowl. I mean, before you know it, he could be passing for 300 yards, and and it's totally unexpected. So you never know. And also, both defenses are a little bit susceptible to play action pass, especially the Chiefs defense, because from when I looked into the numbers.
So the Chiefs have also started using a little bit more RPOs as well.
They have.
And Mahomes sneaky because nobody wants to tackle him for fear of.
He's sneaky. He's sneaky fast. Like if you give him a clear lane, he can kind of pick him up and put him down. Like,
also, because everyone's petrified of tackling him for the fear of a 15-yard penalty.
15-yard penalty. So it's literally like he is the shield.
You know what?
He's the NFL shield. So,
but that's not the refereeing. It's more of just people are afraid to hit it.
Afraid, yeah.
Because then it's part of the refereeing thing, and I think it's a high time the NFL needs to stop doing that. The minute a QB gets anointed as like the universally best in the league, they start getting a special treatment. You breathe on them, you get a yellow flag. It's the same thing. Brady had the same treatment. Manning to a certain degree, but Manning not so much.
Aaron Rodgers.
Manning didn't move, so he threw from the pocket, and that was it. Right, that's
it was really Brady. Like if you breathe on him, you're gonna get a flag. And it's the same thing with the Mahomes thing. Like so, it's kind of like even if you're there and you're getting a sack, now you have to lay him down gently because if you land on top of him, it's gonna be a flag.
So to speak on the refereeing, the one thing I said before that Rams-Bengals Super Bowl, right? I said, I do not want to hear about the refereeing at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Right? And they refereed that game impeccably up until the last 30 seconds. That holding call on Cooper Kupp, where they decided how they were refereeing the game the entire other 59 minutes versus right at the end of that game. They changed how they were refereeing the game, and they effectively won the Super Bowl for the Rams with that one play. They cannot do that this weekend because it will be an endless discussion. It will this game is supposed to be extremely close. We know it's going to be extremely close. We do not want to hit. Look, the best thing, we know that the referees have had a good performance when you're not talking about
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When they are
Absolutely.
completely irrelevant.
Yep.
So, referees, I
Absolutely.
hope that you are completely irrelevant. Because I just want to see a good game.
Yeah.
I don't have a skin in it. I don't have any skin in the game.
Yep. You don't
Will
want it to
has
be
some,
like
but
you don't want this game to be decided by a call. And I mean, penalties can cost you the game, but you
that's
don't
if
want
it's
it to be
completely legitimate. If there is a completely legitimate call,
and it's
tough,
fair, it's
like,
fine. But
that's
you
fine.
can't have penalties that are like
Ticky tack.
I wouldn't necessarily call that. Or whereas before you called a play, second time it's okay, you know. So you just got to be consistent. I don't want to have like 1,000 offensive line offside calls because it completely ruins the momentum. So you call it if it's egregious and it's noted. You let the corners and receivers juke it out, you know, because like if you get pass interference as a DB in a game like this and it's 60 yards, 40 yards down the field, that's so crippling, you know. You can't really afford for that to happen. Granted, if the guy's over you and he's about to score a touchdown, if he catches the ball, then yeah, I think defensively,
Then take him down.
You have to do the PI, right? It doesn't matter. It's either that or and you get another chance to stop them scoring. But I don't want this game to come down to, yep, refs decided it. You know, I think even the Chiefs fans are tired of this. You know, I think there's
I think everybody's tired of being even talking about it. That's
of Kelsey being asked like, what did you like more? What was it, the Snow Angels or the the Phantom pass interference calls? And he goes, next question. You know what I mean? So I think even they're tired of it. They want to end this stigma that they're being favored. They want to win this game as cleanly as we do as a team. I don't think it will be. I think
okay, so I'm gonna how can I come to it? Predictions. So I'm gonna go first. Realistically, the Eagles should be winning this game, right? In terms of the run offense, and that defense is unbelievable, right? The Eagles should be, like, even though the Chiefs are favorites, the Eagles should be the team that's winning this game. I want Saquon to win a chip, so therefore, I think the Chiefs are going to win. Because I say my head and my heart are completely wrong, and Chiefs have got the Three-Peat. Because nothing ever happened right for me in terms of sporting, except from last night. How did that go, Pete?
No, but to be honest, before I go into it, you guys deserve it, and I hope you go ahead and win that trophy. Because you guys really do deserve it. Being outstanding in the whole competition. So I hope Newcastle win it. I'll be pulling for the tune. I mean, you guys deserve it. It's been a long time, so congratulations to you.
That's a segue.
No issues at all.
He doesn't really like. For people who don't know, who are watching, my team beat his team last night. In a semi-final, and
they beat us, they thrashed us, boy.
Exactly, they gave him a good old spanking, and now Will, I'm going to ask you: is your team going to give the Chiefs a good old spanking and send the Chiefs crying home, or is it going to be an absolute nail biter?
It's going to be a nail biter. I think both these teams are too good defensively for it to be a high scoring game. The thing is, it's going to be a one score game. I have a sneaky, like, games like this come down to the wire. It's going to be possession, 2-minute drill, and we're just praying like, let's just end this game now. I think we probably have the ball last. I'm going to go with,
if you have the ball last, do you think Jalen's going to be able to lead you down the field to win? That hesitation there, that little bit of hesitation, that's what I'm worried about.
Like, if it's 60 yards, 40 yards out,
and then you've got to have a long field goal with a kicker who's not been money this year.
If it's a field goal, I think we're going to get it. But if he has to score, here's the thing: if the
scenario is go 50 yards plus, right? 50 yards.
If it's a field goal, we're going to get it. If it's a field goal, I think if it's a field goal, we can get it. But if he's got to score 6 points and convert, it depends how far out. It honestly depends how far out.
Okay. So here's the thing, Will. Here's the thing. The same that you're saying here, right? I guarantee if your Eagles had if you had Lamar or Josh or heck even Kyler,
Yep.
you
I
have
agree.
more confidence right now. Your whole thing would
Yep.
change. It's just that Jalen is good, but he's not elite dual threat. He's a good dual threat. He's not elite dual threat, if that makes sense.
He's a great quarterback, but he's not this
He's not
roster. Like
elite.
we saw it. I saw it at the end of that last game against the Commanders, because they all go up and Lurie's on the podium, and it's really interesting. Like you see people patting Eagles on the back, and they say Jalen played phenomenally, and he had that look on his face, like, no, I didn't. you know which look I'm talking about.
Because here's the thing, though.
The reality, he's there, like, bro,
Yeah,
I had an
here's the
average
thing.
game, 240
The
yards,
last
I threw
Super
a
Bowl,
touchdown. Like Saquon got 118, 3 TDs. Like AJ Brown, 1 touchdown, 96. Like, let's be real. Like my supporting cast, my offensive line is great. I didn't take over this game. And to be honest, and
He didn't cost them
here's
the
one
game
for you.
either.
Yeah, he didn't cost them the game either. But Jaden Daniels,
no, he won't cost you the game.
he didn't lose the game for his team. It was other people turning over the ball, so it could have been even closer. And everyone's like, if you ask anyone right now, who'd you rather have, Jaden Daniels or Hurts going into this game? Everyone's picking Jaden Daniels, man. You know, that's the harsh reality.
Yeah, but hold on. No. I won't let you go there, right? Jaden had an outstanding rookie, probably the best rookie QB season in NFL
if you had
history,
put
right?
Jaden over of Spags in this game, I'm sorry, but this would have the exotic looks you would have seen, he wouldn't have been able to.
But here's a little warning for everybody, right? Last season we had the same thing with CJ Stroud. You know, he was high and thin, but his sophomore year hasn't been as great. So I always say let's wait till the sophomore year, right? Because that's a crucial aspect of quarterbacking. If it's even better in his sophomore year, then we know, okay, he's gonna be amongst the elite QBs in the league. All I gotta say is, Jalen is part of the team. He's an essential piece, but I think your Eagles roster as it is right now is a roster that Limar would love to have your Eagles team. You know, Josh Allen would love to have your Eagles team because they have the skill set that can really take it over the top. But Jalen is a good function of the offense.
Can you imagine?
He suits the team well.
Can you imagine Joe Burrow behind that O-line of yours?
Oh. I don't even want to.
The Eagles will be heavy favorites. They'll win
be
this
heavy.
game. I have no
doubt.
doubt.
That's what I'm saying, right? If you can imagine that caliber of quarterback, Joe Burrow gets killed every week.
They'll win this game because for me, out like a little segue that we are having right now. Joe Burrow has had the greatest quarterback season in NFL history not to make the playoffs. Basically, this 2024, he had the greatest QB season that never made the postseason. Like his numbers, if you were to tell me that he had these numbers and his team did not make the playoffs, I won't believe it.
Yeah,
but that's because he had no
Peter,
defense.
So I know you said I want prediction.
I can't.
I need you to put your like you can't sit on the fence.
You gotta pick one, man.
You've got to pick a winner. Will's umming and ahhing whether he can think that.
I love.
I know he wants the Eagles to win. You're saying the Eagles are winning, right?
Yeah, but it's literally going to be. I can't say a score. Like it's going to be low score.
I'm not asking for score lines. I'm saying this is who's going to win. Like I said, I think the Eagles should win. Therefore, the Chiefs are going to win. But that's just the way I'm wired at the moment, right?
Okay. Here's my prediction, right? I love Patrick Mahomes. Three-Peat, never done in NFL history, and that will, be it for them. Like to win to Three-Peat will be sensational. But JC's a beast, man. That look in JC's eyes. When I say JC, you'll know what I mean. He's already been anointed by one of the GOATs as the next in line. And I think big players superstars rise on big occasions, and this is his time to shine. If he can go into this game and wreck it for the Chiefs, he's arrived. So
it's going to be really.
I'll go with the Eagles because I love
so
defense.
it's 2-1. I'm lone wolfing on this.
I believe Carter is gonna wreck the game.
I'm not, and I'm saying and the reason why I'm saying the Chiefs is because there's just one man, kind of with a clipboard, who's just a genius on the defensive side of the ball, who will do something to cause Jalen Hurts an absolute brain freeze.
Because even with me saying that, right, recently, did you guys all hear it? I believe, you know what, Pat Mahomes, has done the Brady thing, you know. The other day, he was talking something about how he had to make sacrifices and stuff like that. He would do what Brady did, man. They were doing that voodoo thing. Pat Mahomes been doing that too.
But in all seriousness, I've got so for anybody watching, put in the comments, who do you think's going to win? Not just who you want to win, but who do you think's going to win? Because it's going to be a great game. We've waffled about it for 40 minutes now. So you've heard what we've had to say. We want to hear what you guys have to say. Drop it down, drop subscribe, and we'll catch everyone next week. Well, we're going to talk about what actually happened. Did the refs mess up? Did Mahomes do the three-peat? Did Saquon run all over them like they were child's play? Well, we won't know until next week, and we'll catch everyone then.